Page 66. This is the Forty-Finger Ensemble Part 2. The bottom of the page. I'm not going to repeat all that junk I spoke about 40 fingers and ensembles. You can go listen to the previous lesson on that. I just talk about Part 2. A lot of times in ensembles and this kind of thing, you'll end up rotating through the parts. So in one time when you play it, you might play part 1. Other people are playing the other parts. Another time you play it, you might play part 2. So people are switching parts. And before it's over, you end up playing all the parts. Now, a lot of ensembles are written specifically for instruments. So you're not going to do that. You're going to play the music for your instrument. So as a piano player, I'm not going to go over and play the cello part or something. No. But these are all piano parts. And so you could rotate through and play all of these too. Anyway, let's talk part 2. I'll just go through the process I use and let's see what we end up with. I'll look it over. It's 2 lines long with a repeat sign, but it's 2 lines. Treble and bass clef, 4 flats in the key signature. I went through this in the previous videos. It's the key of A flat major. Probably ought to be doing the scale for A flat major if you're doing scales. If you're not doing scales yet, forget I said that. But it's just, in my opinion, easier to play in the key if you know the key, if you know the notes in the scale, if you can play the scale. Because when I see something with 4 flats in it, I just play in the key of A flat or F minor, depending on which it is. I don't worry about which note is flat and which note is natural, which note is black or which note is white. I just play in that key. It makes reading music so much easier. The only problems I have in doing that is when they start adding a bunch of accidentals. And then I have to, wait, where am I? Yeah. That's how I do it. You'll develop your own system. Some people, believe it or not, will actually go through the music and write in a little flat sign above the staff or below the staff for those notes that are flatted. I don't recommend it. I think that's a crutch. It would be much better if you could just learn to play in the key or learn which notes are flatted. So all the B's, E's, A's, and D's. That's the order they are in the key signature. Everything but the G flat here. All right, and 4/4 time signature. Now both hands are playing the same note names, so I'm going to take both hands together. Shortens the video a little bit, but you can take it one hand at a time if you need to. We're in the same hand position as part 1, but we're playing different notes. Here we're starting on 3rd finger here, because we're in this position. That's where part 1 was here. Part 1 started here, part 2 starts here. So we're an interval of a 3rd, okay. And the same rhythm as part 1. 1 and 2 and just different notes. So you go through and work out the notes and the rhythms, and then go back over it slowly and carefully, get rid of the hesitations. See, when you're playing in an ensemble and you hesitate, you mess up the whole group. Can't do that. You've got to keep going. No matter what happens, if you miss a note, keep going. Then once you can get it with no hesitations, think about the articulation, the phrasing. Just lift up between the phrases, like taking a breath. Just a little bit of silence there, like taking a breath. You're cutting the note at the end of the phrase a little bit short, so you got time to lift up. Then the dynamics. The same dynamics as before. We start with forte or loud. In the second line, you go down to mezzo forte, and then you get loud again the last couple measures. And then the speed, again, lively, I talked about this. You'll have to decide between you and the others involved what lively is, because everybody's got to go the same speed. If there's a teacher, they will decide what lively is. That's my lively for now, and later that would change, I'm sure. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the wrist claps on them a little bit. Feel the natural accents. Let's play this slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs, just the notes and the rhythms. And the repeat. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. One, two, three, four. Two, three, repeat. One, two, three, four. Two, three, four, off.